My name is Quinn Meekum. I direct our academic programs. One of the great pleasures of being at BYU and being part of the Kennedy Center community is that occasionally we get to hear from very distinguished statespeople, diplomats come to visit us as part of their diplomatic assignments. And we're really delighted to welcome Her Excellency the Ambassador today. Before I introduce the Ambassador, we will have an opening prayer today. Luz del Alba Rodriguez, who is a student at BYU majoring in psychology with a minor in global women's studies, and is from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, will offer our opening prayer.
Amado Padre Celestial, estamos muy agradecidos de poder encontrarnos aquí, de tener la oportunidad de recibir educación formal y de crecer y expandir nuestra mente y nuestro conocimiento. Pedimos que en esta hora podamos ser humildes y tener mentes abiertas para reconocer la importancia de la historia de este país, República Dominicana, y que podamos tener la caridad en nuestros corazones para ver a las personas de esta isla, reconocer su historia y su cultura y ver la influencia de nuestro Salvador Jesucristo en las personas de República Dominicana. Te pedimos que podamos recibir el Espíritu e instrucción del Espíritu para poder aprender más y poder seguir superándonos como personas y como académicos. En el nombre de Jesucristo, amén.
Thank you very much. Just for the ambassador's sake, I'm curious how many of you in the audience have spent time in the Dominican Republic? That's wonderful. How many of you have actually lived there for periods of your life? Well, we extend a special welcome to you, and we're delighted to hear more about the relationship between the United States and the Dominican Republic today. Her Excellency Ambassador Sonia Guzmán is the ambassador from the Dominican Republic to the United States of America. She took office in November 2020. She is the first woman representative of the Dominican Republic to the United States. But she has a long history of breaking through gender barriers in a wide variety of positions throughout her career. She holds a bachelor's degree of library science from Columbia and a postgraduate degree in school administration and public administration from the University of Puerto Rico. She started as the director of the Central Library of the Pontificia Universidad Católica Madre y Maestra, and was promoted shortly thereafter to be the academic vice rector of the same institution, and she was the first woman in the Dominican Republic to hold that position. She has served as an administrative undersecretary to the presidency. She has had a wide variety of influential positions throughout her career of public service. She was the first woman to occupy the position of a member of the Monetary Board from 2000 to 2004. And I think quite importantly for us today, she was the chief negotiator for the Dominican Republic in the Free Trade Agreement between the Dominican Republic and the United States, which just celebrated its 20th anniversary. It's been a long-lasting and influential agreement. She's the author of multiple books. She is a member of the executive committee and a founder of the Modern Revolutionary Party since 2015, which is the current ruling party of the Dominican Republic. And she has a very interesting family history as well. She has had 4 children and is the daughter of the respected former president of the Republic, Antonio Guzmán Fernandez. We are really delighted to hear from her today and to welcome her to BYU. Please join me in offering the ambassador a warm welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm sorry for my voice. I catch a cold during Christmas. I got back the health, but my voice still. Uh, uh, I'm waiting to get it, to catch it. so, uh, but I'm delighted to be hosted by BYU. I am an amazing day visiting the campus, the library, knowing the professor, and the faculty, and some of the students. So I'm so impressed the great university you have. Congratulations. And amazing also to find Dominicans here studying with you, and so many of you that have been in Dominican Republic. So I am in my waters. So thank you for receiving me. Dear and honorable authority of Brigham Young University, students and missionaries, member of the Dominican diaspora in the United States, special guests and friends. It is an honor to address you today in this distinguished institution that holds within their walls the mission to educate leaders in service and in spirituality, strengthen the system through mentoring and hard work for a better tomorrow. Really, you are doing that. I take this moment to thank the President for the kind invitation and extend it to the Governor and the LSD Church for such a warm welcome. For me, it's a pleasure to come before you to tell you a little bit about my country, which I represent as the first female ambassador to the United States. The Dominican Republic is a democratic nation with a population of over 10 million people. The Dominican Republic has a territory stretching 48,442 square kilometers, 18 square miles, 18,000 square miles, 704. That's just the size of New Jersey, or nearly the size of Costa Rica. Its covered shores face the Caribbean Sea in the south and the Atlantic Ocean in the north. Quisqueya, as Dominican affectionately call it, means mother of all lands, and is a country of superlatives. This was the first permanent Spanish settlement in the Americas, or the New World, with the arrival of Christopher Columbus on the first voyage in 1492. Aside from choosing the Dominican Republic as his sole residence in the region, a land blessed with fertilized soil and gold deposits, Columbus and the Spanish crown used the country as a launching pad for conquer across the Caribbean and the United States. Today, the first city of the Americas, Santo Domingo, is the capital of the DR and continues to thrive while preserving its history and original Spanish architecture. Aside from the historical first, the Dominican Republic ranks among the most diverse Caribbean countries in geography, nature, and people. Its landscape ranges from the highest peak in the region, Pico Duarte, to the lowest body of water, Lago Enriquillo. A whopping 6,000 species of flora and 7,000 species of fauna includes cacti, flowers, endemic hawks, and humpback whales, The country's cultural makeup, Taino, European, and African, includes a diverse population welcomed in the Dominican Republic since the 19th century, from Jewish and Japanese communities to the UNESCO proclaimed Afro-Caribbean groups. Our shores, with more than 1,500 kilometers, near 1,000 miles, of coastline, verdant mountains, towns, fishing villages, and cactus-lined landscape where you will discover a unique side of the DR. You can experience a unified passion for our music and dance merengue, bachata, and song, our diverse gastronomy taking you beyond the rice and beans, our love for baseball, family, and hospitality. Together, they make up the essence of our Dominican spirit. The Dominican people and their customs have predominantly European cultural origins, consisting bases with both African and native Taino influences. The Dominican Republic was the site of the first European settlement in the New World, named Santo Domingo, founded in 1493. Shortly after the arrival of the European, African people were imported to the island to serve as slave labor. The fusion of European, African, and Taino traditions and customs contribute to the development of present-day Dominican culture. Spanish is the predominant language in the Dominican Republic. The local dialect borrow vocabularies from Arawak language, the Taino natives. The most recognized genre in the Dominican Republic about the music is called merengue, a type of lively, fast-paced rhythm and dance music, consisting of a tempo of about 120 to 160 beats per minute, based on music elements such as the African drums, brass, piano, shorter instrument, and the accordion, as well as the tambura, drums, and guira, two instruments unique to the Dominican Republic. Another form of music is called bachata. Bachata, that maybe more some of you knows, originated in the countryside and rural marginal neighborhoods of the Dominican Republic and has gained popularity recently all over the world. Bachata grew out of the planned Latin American romantic style called boleros. Over time, it has been influenced by merengue and by a variety of Latin American guitar styles. The cuisine of the Dominican Republic is predominantly made up of a combination of Spanish, indigenous Taino, and African influence. Many Middle Eastern dishes have been adopted into Dominican cuisine, such as the kibab. A traditional breakfast will consist of mangú, special smashed plantains, sauté onions, fried eggs, fried salami, fried cheese, and sometimes avocado. Meals tend to flavor meats and starches of dairy products and vegetables. Some of the favorite Dominican foods are chicharrón, yuca, casabe, pastelitos, empanadas, batata, yam, shaca, also called maíz caqueado. Maíz con dulce is a special of sweet corn, and maíz con leche, corn with milk, is a sweet also. Chimichurri tostones is like a fried plantain, smashed plantains. Some treats Dominicans enjoy Arroz con leche is like rice with milk, sweet. Bizcocho dominicano is a Dominican cake, very soft. Habichuela con dulce is beans with sweet beans, sweet beans. Flan, frío frío, snow cones. Dulce de leche is sweet milk and caña, sugar cane. The beverage Dominicans usually drinks includes morir soñando, is die dreaming. Rum, beer, mama juana, batida, smoothie, fresh squeezed fresh juice, mabi, and coffee. Our carnival celebrations are held in the Dominican Republic each February with parades, street dancing, food festival, and music. It's like Rio de Janeiro or New Orleans. You have it here. Festivities also take place in the week leading up to Easter Sunday. Parades, beauty pageants, and different festivals, each in each town throughout the country, fills the week. The towns make concourse and they have parades, which one fighting for which one is the best. The Dominican Republic is 68.9% Roman Catholic, 18.2% evangelical, 10.6% atheism, and 2.3 others. It is important, very important, to note that there are always been religious freedom in the country. And as missions, most of the ones that visit us can see that. An interesting fact is that the LDS Church has had a presence in the Dominican Republic since 1978, with 5,066 members in 203 congregations. Dominican Republic has the largest body of the LDS church member in the Caribbean. It also has been highest member per capita rate in the Caribbean. According to the World Bank, the economic growth of the Dominican Republic has tripled the regional average over the past 2 decades, resulting in 2.8 million people rising out of poverty, a middle class that now surpasses the poor population, and an improvement in the quality of life in terms of access to basic services, housing, and education. To maintain this dynamic growth and extend its benefits to more households and impoverished areas, it will be crucial to increase productivity through the implementation of reforms to strengthen human capital, competitiveness, innovation, service delivery, public spending, efficiency, and reliance to climate events. Because we are in the middle of the Caribbean, the hurricanes are very popular and earthquakes beyond us. In 2024, the economy was projected to grow by 5.1% thanks to the monetary easing, increased public investment, and a record influx of tourism. In the medium term, growth will be driven by strong consumption and investment, supported by reforms in areas such as fiscal policy, energy, water, and employment, as well as initiatives to improve education and attract foreign investment. The government has shown a strong commitment to addressing the long-standing challenges posed by the electricity sector through a comprehensive package of reform aimed at increasing transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the sector, continuing the diversification of the energy matrix to include less pollution energy sources and increasing access to reliable and affordable energy. That's a very important challenge we have in the Dominican Republic, especially because we are a country that has a lot of sun all year through. The occurrence of adverse climate events increasingly highlights the critical need for accelerated action to strengthen the country's resilience and adaptation in an inclusive manner. Taking advantage of new business opportunities and private sector solutions and developing assets in key sectors such as logistical and financial services will increase the attraction of the competitiveness investor to the Dominican Republic, while gradually reducing the country's dependence on fiscal incentives. About the DR and U.S. bilateral relations, the United States established diplomatic relations with the Dominican Republic in 1884. Since its 1844 independence from neighboring Haiti, the country has seen a mix of coups, U.S. military interventions and occupations, military governments, and democratic governments. Thank God we are the longest democratic country in the whole hemisphere. We have almost 50 years of democratic governments. U.S. relations with the Dominican Republic are solid. The country is an important partner in hemispheric affairs due to its standing in the Caribbean as the largest economy and the second largest country in terms of population and land mass, its largest bilateral trade with the United States, and its proximity to the United States. The two governments cooperate in the fights against trafficking in illegal substances and persons, the extraditions of fugitives, and measures to hide their illegal migration. The Dominican Republic's most important trading partner is the United States. The two countries are parties to the Dominican Republic Central American United States Free Trade Agreement, DR-CAFTA, along with the 5 Central American countries. This agreement creates new economic opportunities by eliminating tariffs, opening markets, reducing barriers to services, and promoting transparency. It facilitates trade and investment among the 7 countries and furthers regions integration. U.S. export to the Dominican Republic includes oil, agricultural products, machinery, vehicles, cotton, yarn, and fabrics. U.S. import from the Dominican Republic includes optical and medical instruments. It's the first issue that we export to the United States. Jewelry, we have a big fabric of Tiffany's jewelry in the Dominican Republic, and gold, agricultural products, machinery, tobacco, and kit apparel. U.S. firms most manufacturing of apparel, footwear, and light electronic, as well as U.S. energy companies, account for much of the foreign private investments in the Dominican Republic. For the year 2024, the exchange of goods between the Dominican Republic and the United States totaled $20,500 million. In this period, DR export to the U.S. a total of $7,300 million and import from U.S. total $13,200 million U.S. It is important to highlight that total imports to the Dominican Republic reaches $27,600, which means the approximately 44% of the total imports come from the United States. Same with the exports, which is general total $12,900 million, and approximately 55% of the total exports were sent to the United States. The top 5 exports of DR to the U.S. for 2024 is first, optical and medical instrument, total $1,581 million. Tobacco reaches $984 million. We are the first in the world, the first exporter of fine cigars in the world. 3, electrical appliance and materials reaches $946 million. Precious stone and jewelry items total $465 million. Knitted clothing and accessories summed $384 million. A top 5 imports from the U.S. to DR for 2024 is first, fuel, total $3,814 million. Vehicles and their parts reaching $881 million. Electrical equipment and parts totally $787 million. Plastic items, $16 million. Machinery and its parts totally $648 million. And you can see that all the imports doesn't touch the productive machinery of the Dominican Republic. So we import the products we don't produce. The Central Bank of the Dominican Republic is the same that the Federal Reserve here, reports that during the year 2024, remittance received reaches the figure of $10,756 million. It is important to highlight that the economic performance of the United States is determinant factor in the behavior of the remittance, representing approximately 80.3% of the formal flow of this remittance that comes from the Dominicans with formal jobs in the States and that pay their taxes. In tourism, during the 2024, the Dominican Republic surpasses the goal of 11 million visitors, setting another new record after achieving just over 10 million visitors in 2023. For a small country that has a little more than 10 million persons as a population is amazing to reach 11 million of visitors of tourism. This arrival of tourism to the country is led by the United States, which has historically been the largest generator of tourism to the Dominican Republic, representing approximately 48% of the total arrival of non-resident foreigners. The foreign direct investment, according to the preliminary report of the Central Bank of the Dominican Republic, foreign direct investment reaches $2,378 million in the first half of 2024. So multiply that by 2, that would be the total of 2024, which represent an increase of 2.3% compared to the same period of previous year. This behavior responds to the increase registered in the real estate, financial, and tourism sector, according to the BCRD. For example, Marriott has a huge investment in the Dominican Republic, and I know that Mario is a supporter of this university and also supporter of your religion. The sectoral distribution shows that more than half of the FDI flows were directed to the tourism and energy sector, especially clean energy. The Central Bank of the Dominican Republic estimated that flows were around 4,500 million by the end of 2024. And now, with the new administration coming into power, we are looking into the administration, the American administration, the new United States administration, in coming into power, we are looking into promoting the good relations even more. Thank you, and I'm open to answer any questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks. It's clear that the fate of the United States and the Dominican Republic are intertwined. We would love to bring you into the conversation. We will continue until 2:50. It should give you time, if you have a 3 o'clock commitment, to stay with us until the end. We invite you, if you have a question for the ambassador, to raise your hand. We have a couple of folks with microphones. We'll bring them to you. Wait for a microphone. Please stand. Tell us your name. If you're a student, please tell us what you study at BYU. And we will go until 2:50. Thank you.
James Jeffries, graduate. I'm wondering about how you personally deal with a change in administration that is pretty drastically different than the current administration personally, and your relationships with the chaos in Haiti.
Yes. Well, let's begin with the first question. Remember that the Free Trade Agreement were signed between Dominican Republic and the United States in a Republican government, the Bush administration, Bush son. And we have been working very nicely with the Republicans. So we expect to do it the same way in this new administration. About one of the most concerning for the Latin American issues is the immigration. But I think that we think that the disordered immigration have to be put it in order. And I think that's what this new administration of the United States is referring to, the disorder in the border. And we are not afraid of that because we think that if we have some Dominicans over there, they have to put it back to the Dominican Republic. The ones that are here, we have almost 2.2 million of Dominicans in the United States, immigrants. And they just work nicely, pay taxes, and we get along. So we are not concerned about that. With respect of Haiti, I would like to do a little explanation between the two countries. Haiti comes from a different culture, a French culture. The French were the coloners in Haiti. The Spanish were the one that discovered Dominican Republic. So, beginning with our culture are very different both. Our language are completely different. And I always say that the Spanish in Dominican Republic were a little laissez-faire, a little easy, a little lazy. And so that gave us, with the Taínos and the Africans that came in to work as a slave, gave us the opportunity to interchange races. And we mixed all of these three races. That's what we are now, the Dominican. We are all the colors, all the hairs, and all type of person. In Haiti, the French were very tough, and they took over all the richness. The Haitians, at the moment of the colony, were the richest colony in all America. And the French took over that and just squeezed the Haitians and left them without any mixtures of races, left them very poor. So that's where begin the sad history of Haiti and the big difference between Dominican Republic and Haiti. Now Haiti has, and I have to say that when Haiti was strong and richer than Dominican Republic, they took over Dominican Republic and spent 22 years ruling the Dominican Republic. And our independence is not from the Spanish, it's from the Haitians in 1844. They took over in 1822 to 1844. Saying that, the history of Haiti began since they were discovered, and the rule, they were bad ruled by the French. And now it's a country that doesn't have institution, doesn't have peace, doesn't have order. For example, most of the immigrants, Haitian immigrants that come to my country, we have around 2 million Haitians in a population of 10, a little bit more than 10 persons that we have Dominican. And most of the Haitians that come to Dominican Republic comes without any documents. They are not registered. They don't have a certificate of birth. They don't have ID. They don't have passport. And they cross the border to give birth, the woman, and we have in our hospital that we give health for free, we have the 38% of Haitians giving birth there. And in the school that is free until the high school in our country, we have the 11% Haitians taking. So that is a big cost for Dominican Republic. And we are claiming all the time, our president has been 4 or 5 times in United Nations and here in the States, claiming for help to that poor country because Dominican Republic cannot alone help that. So that is the situation, and we are very hopeless that this new administration could get together with other big countries like France, that has a historical debt with Haiti, Canada, and others, to help that poor country. Did that answer the question?
Hi, I'm Ellie, and my brother is going to be moving to the Dominican Republic for 2 years.
Good.
And so, on his behalf, I just wanted to ask what you consider the most meaningful ways to exchange culture between the U.S. and the DR at an interpersonal level. To enjoy culture and exchange it with each other, just sharing each other's cultures.
I think the best thing is to get to know people. I mean, to get together, to mix with the community as you do when you go in mission. And I was talking to a gentleman that this noon that was with us. He spent 2 years in Dominican Republic, in the west part of the capital, and he talked like a Dominican, so with an accent of that place that we call the Tigres, is an expression. The best thing is to get mixed, to get together, to take advantage of the costumes and of the people, and to be careful.
Hi, Luz del Alba, and I'm just going to
Wonderful, thank you.
speak English for the sake of everybody else at this point. One of the biggest reasons why I choose to come to the States was to access a better and more complete education, as I saw that my options with what I wanted to study, I study psychology and sex education, is something that I was not going to receive the best formation in Santo Domingo, in the DR. What are some advances that the country is doing for the education system, specifically higher education?
Yes. Well, we have, we are a development country, a country that's going on, and we have many lacks of things, and we need to advance in education. Thank God, many people like you are coming to developed countries like France, Spain, United States, to get education, and they are going back to teach there. I was very happy. Professor Alba here is a Dominican, and we used to work in the same university long time ago. I won't tell you because you will find out my age. So, but yes, that's a challenge we have in the education. We have advanced, and we are trying to make to make partnerships with university like this one and university over there that will permit us as a country to get the advance of what you have here. Another thing is that we are promoting a big program of scholarship in the minister that have to be with the higher education to send students like you with a scholarship to be formed outside the country and come back to give us what they learned. But that's a big challenge we have.
Well, thank you, Excellency, for coming to BYU to visit us. I'm studying in the accounting major in the BYU Management School of Business. So just want to ask about your role in signing the free trade agreement with the United States, and what's your prediction for the potential changes or not in the future?
Oh, if we change or not, that was the question, wasn't it? With the free trade agreement.
Oh yes, I would just want to ask if there's going to be any future changes in terms of trade with the United States in the future?
Well, the free trade agreement is not an exchange agreement of goods. It includes that no tariff for the products, but includes a lot of prevention for changing things in the countries. For example, the transparency of the process that for buying goods in the government or spending the money. The customs, we have to change a lot of law to be more transparent, more easy, more rapid, more quickly in the dispatch of the goods. In the environmental part, we have a lot of restriction that we had to we put during the years around in order to get better environmental care in our country. There is a lot of laws that we had to accept and run during these years to be a better and more competitive country. The rule of law was one of the issues too. That's why we are getting now so much foreign investment, because there are clear laws, transparency, rule of law. I mean, there is a lot of guarantee for the investor to go to Dominican Republic, and that's thanks to that free trade agreement with the United States.
We have time for one more.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Emerson. I study international relations. I was just curious what kinds of things you do as an ambassador here in the United States.
Well, this is one of the things I do.
Okay.
To promote my country with young people like you that are the future of the country, so that you get to know more about my country, about what good things and we have, and what could strengthen the relations between the United States and the Dominican Republic. But mostly, we are a very close country to the United States. This is our first embassy because it's our first economic and political partner, the United States of America. So we have to work in security. We have to work in good relation, in strengthening the relation. We have to talk about commerce. We have to talk about immigration. We have all the topics you see on the table. We have to talk it between the two countries. And that's the role of an ambassador here in the United States.
Thank you so much. Please join me one more time. And
Thank you. To you. Thank you.